Yeah. The next item is a report on a renewed effort to keep the parking lot and neighborhood clean, and Principal Hayes will speak to that.
I can. Our number one neighbor is not here, Mr. Grovestein. But one of the things I heard about, I think my first week on the job last year, certainly the first week of school, was the ongoing issue of open lunch, open campus, and garbage in the neighborhood. By garbage in the neighborhood, that's garbage on our property, at the neighbors across the street, and then what gets blown through the neighborhoods, and then also down at Winnebago and the other congregating spots within walking distance. So throughout the course of last year, we worked with different reminders and tactics to essentially do what comes naturally to us, where you go over the PA announcement. Whenever I would get a phone call from one of the neighbors, and I'd remind the students, I'm getting phone calls. It's a matter of time before somebody shows up at the school board. If you value open campus, we need to clean it up, with marginal success. So we re-strategized, and what we've implemented for this year is what I call an early warning system for students. And what it involves, and then I'll give you some of the philosophy behind it. It's a large, about this, maybe the height of this podium, plexiglass garbage can. It's built out of steel. Some of the metal students last year fashioned it for me, and then added the plexiglass to it, and then there's a color-coded warning system that goes up the side of it that goes all the way from green to red, similar to any other warning system. Green means we're doing great. Red means we're not doing well at all. What happens through the week is after each lunch period is completed for the day, after second lunch is over, so both lunch periods have occurred. That's what I was trying to say. We do a sweep of our property and the properties directly across the street, and any of our garbage from our students that has been left out that day comes back and gets put in that box. As the garbage accumulates throughout the week, that's the threat level warning system. So what we want to do is keep it at green or under. What happens if we're at green or under, so little to no garbage? I will buy cookies for the entire school. Knock on wood, I have not had to do that yet. We came really, really close, 2 weeks, but on Friday there was just enough garbage to get us over the green mark. What happens at the opposite end is if we reach red, we have not reached that point yet, but if we reach red in 1 week's time, we would then have 1 day of closed campus where all students would not only be required to stay on the campus but stay inside. And the game plan, so that you're aware, that has existed for some time in the event that we ever did have to close campus, would be to set up tables in the entire small gym, to bring every chair essentially that we can find at the high school, including those from the library, down, so that there would be seating for everyone, and for Jesse's team and food service to be prepared to almost double the amount of food that they serve on a day-to-day basis. It wouldn't be pleasant for anyone involved, but it's certainly something that is accomplishable. So let's step back and talk philosophy. When we're trying to change something large scale at a community level, it takes individual community engagement, I believe collective investment, and top of mind awareness. And so thinking about those pieces, one of the critical things we knew we needed to do was engage the entire student body in the issue at hand. That it wasn't just the issue of Pam saying, well, I didn't leave my garbage out there, so it's not my problem. That it needs to be as much Pam's problem as it is the person who was leaving the garbage out there. We've all got to be invested in this as a community. Beyond that, we know that people in general want to do the right thing. We just have a lot going on in our minds, and so we don't always remember it. So creating the top of mind awareness was also key. So that's putting the garbage can strategically in the commons, right at the door, so that every student who's going out to McDonald's or who's taking their lunch outside to eat sees it, sees where we're at before they go out to lunch, so that they remember on their way back in to pick it up. I can tell you the very first week of school, the first day after we launched this, Mr. Adams and I, we had to circle the parking lot to come up with 3 items to put in that garbage can. It's been like that pretty consistently, where we just can't find much, and that's a great thing. The 1 week where we did have A bit higher level of garbage in the outside was homecoming. And again, I think it gets back to that top of mind awareness. It just wasn't the thing in the top of mind awareness because of all of the other crazy things going on during homecoming. Happy to say last week we were right back where we need to be, not even close to that level red. We still need to get down to that level green. I would love to have the problem of having to buy cookies for the entire student body. But it's been a great tool to create the awareness, to create the engagement, to turn that issue around. And I've stopped Gary a few times as he's driven down from his house to ask him, have you had garbage blowing in your yard this year like you're used to? And his answer has been no. One of our secretaries lives across the street on the other side. Ask her the same question. The answer is no. So far so good. I don't want to say it's a cure-all, but it's working for the moment. It's creating the awareness and attention that we were looking for.
And we figured you better know,
Yeah.
because if we hit high alert red and campus is closed for a day, there probably will be some complaints.
We'll hear about it.
However, students know, right?
They know.
And it's always been all or nothing. And I think it's more realistic if there is a day that campus might be closed, and they'll get a feel of what that's like. And if they don't want to continue that, then they make sure they throw their garbage in the garbage can.
Right. And it makes it, it's just, I think, with any social change that we would seek to create, you need to be engaged in it each and every day. It can't be something that we talk about once and then never come back to. And so that's, again, what we're trying to create here.
Sounds like a good initiative. My biggest concern is if surveillance catches you pitching a little trash in to get it over the green mark at the end of the week to keep from buying cookies.
I make sure every day that when we put it in the garbage can, the 7th hour study hall is there to observe our activity. They're there to watch, and then I think they're also part of the early warning system to let the word spread that we're getting too close. So.
Okay. All right. Sounds very good.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay.